Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. So, I originally started this video and there was some weird person driving in my driveway, so I restarted it, but then I had this moment of clarity and I was like, the thing that I sidetracked on the video is probably the most important thing, so I'm going to start there and maybe this will become 2 videos. So anyway, I've got a tip for you today. It's a fairly short one, but I think this one is really important, which is the language that you use to talk about yourself. This is something that I sort of just discovered fairly recently. I've been kind of applying this, I didn't even realize it, but I've discovered this as I've been around people that have been saying things negative about themselves, like, I am lazy, I am an angry person, I am whatever they say, I am, and then something after that, right? And the thing is, when you do that, what you do is you reinforce that belief, because your little subconscious mind is listening to everything that you say that comes out of your mouth, and it's believing it. Eventually it believes it. So the more that you say something, the more that you say, I'm a procrastinator, I'm not smart, I'm lazy, whatever you say. I don't even like to say it even on this video, but because it's not even good to say it, right? So the more that you do that, the more you reinforce that, and the more that you become that, and the more trapped you become in that. So here's a little tip for you. Instead of saying I am, when you're going to say something negative, say I used to, or in the past I have. So for example, in the past I have been lazy. In the past I have been a procrastinator, right? That leaves you the opportunity to change that and doesn't define you now. In fact, you can even step this up, right? Even more so than that, you could say, in this crazy wild dream I had, or ridiculous dream I had, I used to be lazy, right? The less certainty that you put around this when you phrase these things, and the more absurd that you make it, the more absurd that you'll make it in your head, and the less that you'll believe this limiting belief about yourself. And we all have these beliefs, right? We all believe, I did a video on set points, which you can check out here, about how set points basically determine your future and what level you rise to. And what ends up happening, like, there's a psychological aspect to this, which is, and I'll give you another link here, reference a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. It's a pretty long book by Maxwell Maltz, Dr. Maxwell Maltz, a really good book. But essentially, the idea is that whatever your identity is, right, whatever you define yourself as, you can't be anything other than that, right? And this is something that we don't have a conscious control over. We believe a certain thing about ourselves, and that's exactly what we are. We can't be more or less than that. And so you could call it self-image, really, and I think that's what Dr. Maxwell Maltz calls it in there. But there's different terms. You'll see this in a lot of different places in psychology and in self-improvement, self-development. I'm no longer using the word self-help. I'm going to use self-development because I like that better. But anyway, you'll see this concept a lot, because whatever you believe about yourself, whatever your true self-identity is, your self-image, that's what you tend to become, and you can't fight that. So the way to really have lasting change in yourself is to change that self-image. I've gone through a lot of transformations in my life, from being the shyest, geekiest dork that was afraid to talk to people even on the phone, to making these crazy videos, like, right, and getting up on stage and talking to people and doing all kinds of stuff, from being an out of shape skinny dork to being a very much fitness person, right? And all of these transformations that have occurred in my life, in fact, from being dumb to being smart, right? From being like, I can't get good grades, to being the A+, the AP class student, right? I've made a lot of these kind of transitions, and the key to all of these transitions, and I'm not saying this to brag, but the key to all these transitions is this self-image, and you got to change that, right? And as you change the self-image, then you have the change. And even just recently, I've undergone a few changes in changing my self-image, and hopefully that's happening now, and hopefully you're seeing some of this and seeing some of this benefit. Hopefully I'm going to bring you some of that benefit by bringing more passion and more excitement and more love, honestly, to what I'm doing with my mission here in life, and in reaching as many people as possible. But it all begins at self-image, and look what I did. I said it was going to be a quick tip. I'll wrap it up. But essentially, just change the verbiage. Don't say I am and then put something bad after that. Don't do that anymore. Instead, say, in the past, I used to, in this wild, ridiculous dream I had, I was, whatever you can do to make it so that you are reinforcing a good self-image. And in fact, part of what you can do with that is, a lot of people make fun of the positive affirmations, but when you do it with feeling and passion, and you really get yourself to believe it, it does make a change. It does make a difference in your life, and you'll see it. So, I would encourage you, at the very least, to don't say I am and then say something bad. It's going to reinforce that bad belief. But if you can, even when you own the things you want to be those things. Talk about how if you want to get in shape, say I am fit. I am a fitness person. I am a healthy person, right? You want to become a better programmer, say I am growing and learning. I am advancing. I am a good programmer. I am a hard worker. I am not a procrastinator, right? All of those things, encourage those things, and then you'll have a lot easier time becoming them as that self-image changes and you can't help to meet the self-image that you expect of yourself. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, share it, subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.